The Cubbies took out a season's worth of frustration on the Cardinals yesterday. They took both ends of the double dip over the Deadbirds, and they go for the series sweep tonight to further cement their place in the wild card hunt. We're coming to you live from the friendly confines for tonight's series finale, which you can see live on CSN. Len and JD have the call at 7. Holly and I have your post game after the ball game. We'll get you set today on Sports Talk Live from Wrigley. It starts right now. Welcome in to Sports Talk Live here on the field at Wrigley. Few raindrops, but we should have baseball for you a little bit later this evening. Everything brought to you by the Chevy Silverado. I'm David Kaplan. Mark Grody, News Radio 780 WBBM and the home of Cubs Radio. Phil Rogers, MLB.com, and our friend Jason Mott, the Cubs fine closer. Jason, I'm going to start with you. Yesterday,
We almost got hit.
Somebody's taking shots at you down there.
I don't think Lester liked your comment. Have you said anything bad about Lester lately? Because he did not like that comment at all.
It was for you. I don't know.
Might have been Hinsky. I don't know.
He likes me too much.
Anyway, yesterday, you guys sweep a doubleheader. The Cardinals are the best team in baseball record-wise right now. And the emotion that you showed when you got the final out, we ran it over and over on the postgame. Can you channel that for us into words here?
Not really. I don't even realize halftime what I'm doing on the mound until it's like over. I just know yesterday. Those were two big games. Came in. They got out. Early. They swinging the bats early against me in the ninth inning. Got two guys on, nobody out. So, we were able to add that insurance run. Get those extra runs late in the game, and it was one of those things that we were able to get out of it with the win. So, I was a little pumped up about it.
Doesn't that kind of go along with your whole thing, man? I mean, you're grip it and rip it, come get it if you can.
Yeah, I mean, these guys probably know better than anyone the way I pitch. So, they know I'm going to come at it with fastballs and try to get ahead. And, you start walking guys in any situation, that's when stuff starts happening. At least make them put it in play, make something happen. Even the one that board just hit center field, Dex almost made the play on it. So it's one of those things you got to make them hit the ball. Like I said, they know I'm going to be throwing, come at guys, and they're going to be an aggressive team.
The way Joe's been using the bullpen for a while now, where it seems like it could be anybody in any situation, does that work because it's such a low ego group of guys that, it doesn't seem like there's the guy there that, well, I got to be in this role, I got to have the ball now. It just seems like, you guys all can do whatever you're asked to do.
Yeah, that's one of the things in the bullpen. And I've said it before, and these guys all say it down there. It's when the phone rings, we're ready to go in. And we have a good group of guys down there between Rondon, Stropey, and Grimm's been throwing the mess out of the ball. Russell's been throwing well. We got Neil back and stuff like that. And even, you got Ejax and Woody have been, those guys have been starters. They've come down there and the stuff they've been able to do out of the bullpen. So, honestly, even Woody, his first day down the bullpen, he was asked to come in and close out a ball game. So, it's one of those things that, we're down there. We got a good group of guys and guys that have good stuff. And it's just about going out there and, from my experience, it's not trying to make it bigger than it is out there. You still got to go make your pitches. You still got to relax and just do what you're out there doing. That's get guys out.
You have played for two of the best managers the game has seen in a long time, Tony La Russa, and of course now with Joe Madden. Yeah. Can you compare and contrast their styles?
Awesome. Playing for Tony, I came up with Tony, and Tony, we always call him. He was just a mad scientist. He was always mixing, matching, doing this, doing that. Sometimes it didn't make sense, but then when you look back on it, you're like, yeah, okay, I could see why I did that. And Joe's kind of, he's got that just chill attitude. He's going to go out there and he's got his players back, really, no matter what. So but between the two of them, they both have their own way of doing things, probably a little bit different than some other managers. But at the end of the day, their goal is the exact same, and that's to go out, put a team out there that they believe in, and go out there and win ball games. And that's what we're all here for.
And you obviously thrived when you were with the Cardinals. I think it was a 42 or 43 save season not that long ago. So do you feel that little something different when you get saves against this team in hyper situations?
Not really. I don't want to beat these guys any more than I want to beat the White Sox that are coming in or the Mets when we were in New York. My thing is if you're on the other team, I want to beat you. I want to get you out. I know a bunch of guys on this Cardinal team. I may go out and have dinner with them or hang out or whatever like that. But when it comes to game time, I know that, even me and John Jay did a charity event the other week, and we teamed up to help, raise money for cancer charities. But, he knows that when he gets in the box, I'm trying to get him out, and I know he's trying to smack, base it off me. So it's one of those things.
Hey, I'm told that they've started a little bit of the work out in the right field bleachers on where the bullpens are going to be moved to, and move them from along the lines where they've been forever out to under the bleachers out there. How big of a change will that be for relievers? I mean, you've been coming in for years with the Cardinals on, right field, and now the Cubs bullpen. It just seems like that's all the changes they make in the ballpark. I'm not sure that won't be the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Wrigley, I don't know if there's another. I think Wrigley and San Francisco may be the only two that still have the bullpens like on the field. San Fran doesn't even actually have a bullpen area, but everyone else is kind of out in the outfield, down line, something like that. So, it'll be different seeing it here, because I think for obviously 100,000 years that this place has been here, they've had them in the same spot. So I think that'll be different. I always kind of like them down the line here, honestly. You get some different fan interaction. And then even when I was a visitor coming in, you get some good trash talking. But I mean, for the most part, the people are good. They're out there trying to get in your head a little bit, but you're trying to get in their head by doing whatever and go out there and do your job.
You have surgery on your elbow. You go through kind of a restart year a year ago, and then you end up here and you're back 96, 97 miles an hour. Do you feel like you're back to where you were when you had 40-plus save seasons?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good. I feel like myself out there. I'm able to go out there and throw pitches when I want, where I want. I feel pretty comfortable out there. But yeah, I mean, I had surgery in 13, came back last year, was up and down okay, but I just like going out there and being in a situation where I can help this ball club win, and that's honestly, that's one of the reasons why I signed here, to come out and hopefully pitch in situations, whether it was the 6th inning to get us out of a jam, or the 8th inning, or whatever inning it is, but try to go out there and be in situations to help this ball club win, because I want to be a part of that.
So you didn't expect to be the closer of this team? You seriously would have been content to be the 6th inning?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I came in, I saw what Ronnie did last year, and I've seen Stropey and stuff like that. So honestly, I was coming in, thinking, I don't know, 7th, 8th inning, something like that, and just honestly, I want to come in and help the ball club win. I know it sounds cliche and like, oh, I'm here to help the team win, all that jazz. But it's one of those things that that's honestly what I want to do. I saw what the Cubs did in the offseason, and with the additions of Lester, Montero, and stuff like that, and having guys like Bryant and Rizzo over here, and Castro, and some of the other young guys coming up. I wanted to be here. I always love this ballpark. I just want to be a part of it.
You guys, with the sweep yesterday, you're now on pace to win 90 games for the season. Pretty crazy to think where this team was not that long ago to win 90 games, but it seems like you haven't, to me, really ever been hot yet. You had the 4-game sweep of the Mets here and a 6-game winning streak around that, but can you guys get better from this 90-win pace you're already on? Yeah,
I mean, I think, we have played some good baseball. I think yesterday we played some really good baseball. We were up, down, whatever guys battled, and, we fought back, and we were able to take 2 from a good Cardinal team. But, I think we've still got some stuff to show, and I think that's promising for this ball club. Like I said, is we still have room to grow, and we still think, and we still know that we can be better than we are right now, which is good. But then again, it's on us. Like I've said it in spring training, it's on us. You can say whatever on paper, but it's on us to go out and perform and do the job.
Appreciate your time, and again, thanks for giving back to the community with the cancer work that you've done. There's a lot of people that count on it.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Beard's pretty good too.
Thank you.
There you go.
Fear the beard.
There you go, fear the beard. That's Jason Mott, the Cubs closer. We got to take a timeout here at Wrigley. Here's today's poll question. What should be the Cubs' goal for the rest of the season? Win the NL Central? Get the first wild card home field in the wild card game, or just make the playoffs? How about win the World Series? Go to CSNChicago.com, where you updated results throughout the show. Be right back.
Sports Talk Live is presented by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers who know what it takes to be #1. It's all about drive.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
This is amazing.
That's amazing.
Real people are discovering surprising things at Chevy.
We're sold. It's so pretty.
They're good-looking cars. It feels great.
Perfect.
This is not what I would expect from a Chevy at all.
Get more than you expect for less than you imagined at the Chevy 72-hour sale. Now get 0% financing for 72 months on most 2015 Chevy vehicles. Hurry, the clock is ticking. Get yours now. The 72-hour sale ends July 9th. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Catch was my therapy growing up. With a ball and glove, my dad and I could work out anything. Today, I have my own kids. Hey, wanna play some catch?
Sure.
And catch is still my therapy. All right, give me a fastball here. Whoa. Just two people, a ball, and a backyard. And the comfort of home.
Every home has a story. Tell yours at coldwellbanker.com.
NHRA drag racing is unlike any other motorsport in the world. Earth-pounding 10,000 horsepower and unlimited access in the pit. Don't miss the Route 66 NHRA Nationals this weekend at Route 66 Raceway in Joliet. Get tickets early and save at Route66Raceway.com or call 888-629-RACE.
Visit CSNChicago.com for great deals on your favorite team's merchandise. From jerseys and hats to autographed memorabilia and more. Outfit yourself in your favorite team's gear and visit the fan shop at CSNChicago.com now.
Tonight, the Cubs look to send St. Lou packing as the storied NL Central rivals square off one more time. Join Len and JD for the call and let's cheer on Chicago. Cubs, Cards, tonight at 7 on CSN. Wednesday Baseball is brought to you by DraftKings.
Hey, the Cubs doubled their pleasure last night. They had their pitchers to thank. Check out our stat of the day, driven by the Chevy Silverado. First Cubs hit of each game in yesterday's doubleheader came off the bat of the starting pitcher. Game 1, Jake Arrieta, a single in the second. Game 2, Dallas Beeler, a double in the third. So who says they need help on offense? Welcome back to Sports Talk Live here on the field at Wrigley. In advance of Cubs Cardinals, Todd Hollandsworth and I will have the postgame show tonight from the studio. Chris Bowden of Comcast Sportsnet, our brother in broadcasting, joins us as well. I'll start with you. Home Run Derby participants are now announced. Two Cubs. Chris Bryant will get Albert Pujols in round 1, the 1 versus 8 matchup. And Anthony Rizzo gets Josh Donaldson. Donaldson the 3, Rizzo the 6. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it was interesting today because we had a chance to talk to them before it even became official. You know, they wanted to keep it on the down low. But I guess it's good for these guys and good for Cub fans to see them out there. I'm not sure how crazy Joe Madden is about the whole idea, but he says, you know, he's going to let them make their own call. They're big boys, and hopefully, you know, they're treating it like, you know, batting practice. Everyone's going for the fences, at least in one round in batting practice every day when they're out there. So this whole theory about them getting dead arms a la, what was it, Bobby Abreu a few years ago, and even Robinson Cano, getting heavy arms in the second half of the season. I don't believe that'll be a factor. I guess we'll just have to see after Monday.
Phil, your thoughts on this home run derby? I like the home run derby. I do. Some people don't.
You know, it's a when you're there live, it moves very slow, and then the hitters that are the old format, then the hitters can be out there for a long time or could be out there. I never really bought into the second half slump thing. I thought it was a convenient thing to look at if a guy had a bad second half. Could be entertaining, but I think the new format is awesome with the head-to-head matchups. I want to know, since it's Cincinnati, is Pete Rose going to do like a little pari-mutuel book? Or, I mean, seriously, does that not set up perfect for
I didn't even think about that.
a little head-to-head?
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
You probably put this thing together, man. Wow. No, I've always liked I've always liked slam dunk contests. I've always liked home run derby because, I mean, like, hitting a home run is still one of the most spectacular things to see in sports, in my opinion, and to enable a player to continually hit home runs, I think is spectacular. I get tired of people complaining about home run derby every year. We want to see home runs. I think it's a fun tournament, and I think it's a little bit overblown as to whether or not it can actually affect that guy's swing or
Phil,
not.
how big would a series win tonight for the Cubs be if they were able to win this game as All-Star Chris Bryant goes by us? How big would a series win be?
It would be big, but I think the biggest thing was done yesterday by sweeping that doubleheader. You know, if the Cubs wind up splitting the series, they've still kind of shown, you know, although I will point out, look at the Cardinals starting pitchers yesterday. They didn't exactly knock off the big boys, but, you know, they were scrapping a little bit too in the nightcap. So, you know, if they could win, it would be significant. But I think splitting that or sweeping the doubleheader, not letting the Cardinals push them around, they kind of already did the biggest work.
Yeah, especially doing it against this pitcher that they're facing tonight. I mean, Michael Wacha's no pushover. They had trouble scoring runs against Lackey in the opener. And again, you had two of the lesser names in their rotation, kids who were called up in order to serve those purposes for guys who are injured. Important that they were able to get that done yesterday, but if they're able to finish it off against a guy like Wacha tonight, that will truly be impressive. And we were talking with Joe Madden before the game here a little bit about when he knew in his days with Tampa Bay in that AL East, when they knew they were a player and they could play with the big boys. And he said that 2008 season, they had a brawl in spring training against the Yankees. They had another brawl against the Boston Red Sox during that season. He's not condoning that necessarily has to happen here, but it's kind of a statement of accountability that we're not intimidated by you, and we're going to be able to play with you guys.
Well, and he's said that throughout the year about several teams, that we have the ability to compete with them. Now the key is, can you beat them? And yesterday, those were steps towards that. That was, I wouldn't say, all right, you've got this figured out now, you can beat the Cardinals. You're still 4-8 against St. Louis Cardinals this year, but that's an encouraging step right there, just to show those guys that they can beat this team in real games, and 2 in a row. Not bad.
Probably a good thing they have a day off. The weekend series is going to be no pushover. The history of the City Series is that the team that's had the bad first half and is, it's kind of a reverse lock, that the other team, the lesser Chicago team comes in and takes down the one that's higher in the standing. So I think the weekend series will be very interesting too.
You think back to 2003, they had a 5-game series with the St. Louis Cardinals, the Cubs did here. And Dusty's John at Tony La Russa, and Tony's F-bombing him back from the other dugout, and the Cubs, that was really the statement series that springboards them into that run they made.
Well, they won 4 out of 5 in that series. They swept a doubleheader, and no question. And, that was real macho baseball. And, I thought Paul Sullivan in the Tribune had an interesting column about right now the Cardinals don't have a guy that Cub fans can really look at and dislike, and that, there really isn't that same kind of edge that you had with those La Russa teams. But certainly it can build in a hurry. It just takes something happening in a game.
Yeah, get somebody hit by a pitch or something, a hard slide.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I was going to say, didn't Lou Piniella send Milton Bradley home during a Cubs-White Sox series?
He did.
Wasn't that
U.S. Cellular. Yeah. He got into it with Derek Lee, and Lou said, back your stuff
and I sent him home.
You sent him
also Carlos Zambrano, just drilling guys, and
Jim Edmonds.
Crazy brawls in the stands, and genuine bad blood there.
Right. All right, let's move to the White Sox, who will play Toronto again tonight at U.S. Cellular Field, weather permitting. And Josh Donaldson, the ex-Cub, I might add. We'll talk about that in a minute. Josh Donaldson has been all business against the White Sox. Check out these numbers built by Comcast Business. Since 1960, 3 players have had 5-game home run streaks against the White Sox in a single season. Josh Donaldson this year, Harmon Killebrew at 64, Roger Maris in 1961. By the way, today is the 7th anniversary of the Cubs trading Donaldson, Sean Gallagher, Matt Merton, and Eric Patterson to the A's for Chad Godin and Rich Harden. Remember that trade?
I do, and beware what you wish for when you want a team like the Cubs to go out and improve at midseason, because this trading window always favors the seller. You can hit on a guy, but if he does well and the team doesn't win, the trade doesn't work out, and you can give up a lot of young guys that you don't think much about that wind up having long careers.
How difficult, Phil, do you think it's going to be able to pull that off without giving up too much if Theo Epstein's going to go down that road, whether it's Cole Hamels or maybe a deal with Oakland to perhaps get, Kazmir and Zobrist here?
Yeah, I like the Zobrist to the Cubs. I kind of have a feeling that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see, would Theo,
and whether Oakland would want to deal with the Cubs after last year.
And let's go off. Let's go away from that and say a Sonny Gray, to be crazy, a Chris Sale. Theo has the pieces to go out and do a deal like that, but can he give up the guys he loves? Can he give up Schwarber? The name guys.
Torres.
Yeah, I mean, can he? I don't know. But he has so many pieces there that there's no way I mean, he can outbid anybody else for Zobrist. I look at the Miguel Montero trade. You know, they traded a right-hander who throws in the high 90s, 18-year-old kid they had signed a year earlier in that international signing period. Their farm system is loaded with guys like that. And the Diamondbacks were thrilled to get that guy from Miguel Montero, and no sports fan in Chicago complained because nobody had ever heard of the guy. And
right, until he saves 47 games for the Diamondbacks.
Like Donaldson is doing this year. We never heard of him before.
Exactly.
You know, the last couple
years.
years.
I think the Cubs really look at it as, Theo Epstein really looks at it as, this is the next level of the rebuild. I don't think they look at it as this is the year we go all out and we spend money and we make big trades to win the World Series. Of course they would like to win the World Series, but I think their goal this year is to be a lot better than they were the previous 5 years. Maybe make the playoffs, maybe get in, but I don't think this is the go all out year for the Cubs, or at least that's not the plan.
When do you think the Sox start making moves? Whether some have speculated they're going to try and add on, more likely they're going to trade Samardzija and move some money out of there.
Yeah, I think it could happen soon. I mean, you look at they're only 7 games out of the wild card. They have the second worst record in the American League, but they're only 7 games out of the wild card. That is such a down league that if they had a hot run between now and July 31st, they could be back where you could argue that they could be buyers. But you know, they've bought their talent. You know, their talent is Adam LaRoche. It's Melky Cabrera. It's all the guys they brought in that haven't produced yet. They got to get those guys to produce. Jeff Samardzija is the obvious guy. You know, I'm told they still haven't had contract talks with him. I think they need to do that and determine. I mean, it seems very unlikely that they could sign him to a long-term deal. If they can't, I think there's no question. And I think they have what a lot of people want in young arms. They don't have organizational depth in the minor leagues or hitters in the big leagues. So I think, you know, they're a team. People are going to ask about Sale. No, we won't move Sale. Will you move Quintana? Will you move Carlos Rodon? I think they're going to have some interesting possibilities with people trying to get their young pitching.
And of those pieces, though, Samardzija is the only one heading into a free agent year, too. I mean, everyone else has years and money attached to them if they're going to go move this.
Team-friendly deals.
Yes, and I would have to think this weekend here for the White Sox, and then coming back after the All-Star break when they host Kansas City, starting with a doubleheader on that Friday, that's going to go a long way in determining whether they're sellers or not.
Big start for Samardzija tomorrow, I think. You know, his last start, his fastball was 96. I don't know, might have even ticked 97. And to me, he looked like this is the Samardzija of 2014. Is one of the first times in 15, to me, he looked like that. And if he could have a run of a couple of really good starts like that, he could drive that value up.
When the White Sox traded Peavy away, they went and got a piece for the future of VCL Garcia. Do you think they're looking to try and do that, or they're looking to rebuild their farm system?
I think they're looking to do both. You know, they got more guys than that. They got Frank Montas, who's going to pitch in the Futures game, throws in the high 90s, AA starter now, not that far away. He was with the Red Sox. They got a really slick fielding shortstop, Cluellis, or let's just go with Cluellis Rondon.
They have Tim Anderson.
So I think they'll be trying to do both. They have those two big needs, hitters in the lineup, and they need depth throughout their farm system.
Why do you guys think that the White Sox have been so good at developing pitching? They find a Quintana on the scrap heap. They draft Chris Sale and get him to the big leagues the same year. They draft Rodon. They draft the kid out of Vanderbilt, Fulmer, this year. And yet you look at their awful record with position players. Why so bad trying to come up with position players when they're so elite with pitching?
Well, Phil, how much has that system remained the same in terms of the coaching staffs that they have down at the lower level, whose responsibility it is to get these guys on the right track early after they're drafted?
They have tremendous coaches on the pitching side. Their minor league pitching coordinator, Keith Champion, is great. They have a pitching coach, J.R. Purdue, that's always like an A-ball, that does good work with guys' mechanics on their way up. Rich Dotson is in their system. I mean, they have a lot of really good pitching coaches. I think on the position player front, it's partly been that they've used those high picks, with the exception of Gordon Beckham. They've used them on pitchers. So, I think they just haven't had as much inventory. But it's really interesting to me, even the draft last month, you saw both Chicago teams stick with the philosophies, even though now their needs are different. The Cubs have all these hitters, so they use the first 2 picks on more hitters.
Sox are like the Mets.
And the Sox absolutely love Carson Fulmer from Vanderbilt. I mean, I think there's almost no doubt in my mind he's a big guy in their 2016 rotation. I think he makes a Quintana or even a Rodon. If the Cubs could get a Carlos Rodon, I think his ceiling is tremendous. And it's just to me, the Cubs and the White Sox, if they can get over the fact that they have fan bases that don't like each other and they play 8 miles apart,
Might match up pretty well.
They match up tremendously well.
To kind of answer your first question, not to completely reduce it to luck, but really when Rick Hahn made the moves that he made, including signing Adam Eaton, getting Melky Cabrera, getting David Robertson, Adam LaRoche, Jeff Samardzija, everybody was jumping for joy. I don't remember anybody saying, wow, those are bad moves, that's not going to work out. But everybody was like, okay, the Sox are going to be contenders
But you
now.
also have 3 guys 50 points below their career averages in LaRoche, Ramirez, and Cabrera.
Okay, so that's bad.
not on Rick Hahn, and that's not on Robin. That's on those guys.
They also gave up their 2nd and their 3rd round draft picks as compensation in that signing. They've done that a lot, and they've also from going back to about 3 years ago, the decade before that, nobody in baseball spent less on the draft than the White Sox, and their international operation yielded no talent for a long time. So their farm system was down so long, it's going to take 5 or 10 years to build it back.
All right, we've got to take a time out. When we come back, Peter Gammons, the Hall of Fame writer from MLB.com, is going to join our panel. We'll talk about this Cubs-Cardinals matchup, the White Sox, and a little bit more on the baseball side. So all coming up, we're live at Wrigley. Sports Talk Live here before Cubs-Cards. And don't forget that we have the Cubs game tonight, and then Holly and I have the post-game show right after this. We'll be right back to the friendly confines.
This summer, make the most of the season with the Jeep brand's legendary capability. Cherish every sunrise in the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever. Or chase every sunset with Jeep Cherokee's 31 mpg Highway. Your endless summer starts at the Jeep Summer Clearance Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months plus $1,500 total bonus cash plus no monthly payments for 90 days on Jeep Cherokee model.
At DirecTV, we believe families should have somewhere to turn when disaster strikes. We believe our customers should have a real person to talk to 24 hours a day. That you should never miss your shows, even if it means overnighting a replacement receiver. And that if we're lucky enough to be invited into your home, we should leave it better than we found it. Because we believe there's no place for ordinary when you entertain the extraordinary. Don't just watch TV. DirecTV.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Because even one attack is one too many.
Gerald Subaru understands the moments that drive your life. And that's why we're committed to you for a lifetime of great driving. We prove this to our customers every day because we're the only dealer to provide true peace of mind, an exclusive lifetime warranty. That means you're covered for a lifetime of driving, unlimited time, unlimited miles. Plus, we have one of the largest Subaru inventories in Chicagoland. A lifetime of worry-free driving only at Gerald Subaru. Visit Gerald Subaru of Naperville today.
Comcast Sportsnet, your home for Chicago White Sox baseball.
Yeah, they are. All right, welcome back here to Wrigley Field. Cubs and the Cardinals will close out their series tonight right here at Wrigley Field on CSN. What should the Cubs' goal be for the rest of the season? That's our poll question tonight. 57% Just make the playoffs. That's all you want to see as the Cubs get into the postseason derby, be it wild card or division winner. I'm David Kaplan, Mark Grody, Phil Rogers with me. Mark from News Radio 780 and your home for Chicago Cubs baseball. And Phil Rogers, the great MLB.com writer. What should the Cubs' goals be?
Well, how about this? Let's make it a little, I mean, getting in the playoffs would be unbelievably good this year, given where they were not so long ago. But let's make it win one playoff game, because you're looking at a team that, if my math is right, I think they've lost their last 9 playoff games at this point.
Well, let's see, they lost
three
straight, and they lost 3 straight to the Marlins.
So, the two Lou years, right? 07,
right.
08.
So maybe I'm setting the bar low, but making the playoffs, it's going to be no bargain. You know stuff's going to happen. It's going to be a fight. They do look to me like they will be positioned and be in that fight. And then if they could play well in the playoffs, don't get swept, in that. There's something about Wrigley Field at the playoff time that I think fans spook the players. There's such a waiting for the next shoe to drop feeling that, to me it would be a good thing if the Cubs could have a win or two at Wrigley Field and kind of get that washed out of the system.
We were here in 08. They're playing the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Game 1, DeRosa hits a ball down the right field line. It's 2-0 Cubs, a home run. Dempster walks 3 guys, gives up the grand slam. It's 4-2. You're right in the game. Ramirez leads off, I think, the 5th inning with a ringing double off the right center field wall. You could have heard a pin drop in here. They were all terrified. It's over. That can't happen.
Wasn't that the game 2 where everybody in the infield made an error?
Well, and
that was the next game when Zambrano pitched.
But this is the year after they played a not good Arizona team in the first round and got swept. And the series opened in Arizona. They come here down 2-0. And Chris Young homers on maybe the first pitch of the game.
Correct, off Rich Hill.
Just absolutely crushed it.
There was the Ted Lilly glove slamming.
That was in game 2.
Yeah, game 2.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Hall of Fame writer Peter Gammons joins us now from MLB.com. Peter, are you surprised you're here now, not just because of the cool music festival you and Theo are doing, but that the Cubs are actually a very good baseball team?
I'm not stunned. I think they're better sooner than I thought, but at the same time, I mean, knowing how hard they've worked and to build the foundation, I think the one thing that maybe surprised me the most is that Chris Bryant plays like he's 32 years old. I mean, I say that with all compliment, but having known Anthony Rizzo from the time he signed, I was kidding Jason McLeod today about sitting down in his office a week after the draft when they drafted Rizzo, and he said, "You'll never remember this, but I actually think he has the greatest makeup of any player I've ever drafted." I said, I remember it all the time. And I really believe when you have the leader of a team being 26 years old rather than 36 years old, it's so much easier to develop young players.
That all said, you said something that was key, that you didn't necessarily think they would be this good, this fast. Do you think that Theo Epstein thought that they would be this good, this fast? Or do you think he's like anybody else right now, like, wow, this team is 9 games over 500. I got to think about maybe making it even better and going ahead of where I thought we were going to be at this point?
I think he's in a position where, and I think, Phil, you agree with it, that he wanted to see how they would play on the major league level in their first year by large. And it's always a work in progress with young players, but it's been really fascinating to watch. And nationally, what I find interesting is how much the Cubs have become a serious America's team. People love the Cubs, they follow them, but the players are such attractive players, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, they don't play a game that's dull. I mean, when you look out there, Addison Russell, all the pieces they have, and they've had some great wins where they're fighting to come back. They have a bullpen that'll keep them in those games. But Peter, Theo as well as anybody, and I asked the question earlier. We're talking about July 31st trades, and I know Theo takes the long view, and he's not going to mortgage the future for this team. But I wonder, can he give up? He loves these young kids so much. McKinney give any of them up. And I go back to Boston. Yeah, he gave up Hanley Ramirez to get Josh Beckett when they were both babies.
Although he wasn't actually the general manager.
Right, he had left in the gorilla suit.
He did give up, he gave up Rizzo for Adrian Gonzalez. I mean, to me, that was the largest deal he made. And then Judd and Jason just kind of kept bringing him around the country.
Would you be stunned, say, and I don't even know at this point, with the many guys that are here, who all you would name as their prospects now, but you'd start with Schwarber, Javi Baez would still be on it.
Yeah, Torres, Billy McKinney.
Would you be surprised if they traded any of the top 3 or 4 at this point?
Now this entirely comes from me. I haven't, but I could see them not doing Schwarber, but I could see them doing Torres or McKinney if it were a Tyson Ross, who is young, very cheap, and then they can go out in the free agent market at the end of the year. Now, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what San Diego's going to do. I mean, that's one of the most insanely run teams that I've ever watched.
Compare what Theo had to do when he took over in Boston, trying to get a bunch of veterans and retool it a little bit to win there with the curse of the Bambino, to coming in here where it was just a train wreck.
I think that there was more of an advantage there because he had, Johnny Damon was there, and Manny Ramirez. I mean, he had some good veteran players, and the mix he brought in, the guys, he went out and got people like David Ortiz for nothing, and that helped. And Pedro Martinez was there, obviously. So, but I think he enjoys this more, because he likes the long range. I mean, he's always been a guy that loves the draft, loves to go out and watch rookie ball. And I think that this is, it's a lot different here because when they win, I think it'll carry. When they win in Boston, when they have as many veteran players, they all, well, wait a minute, you can't make any changes. We're great. And they went through, as great as it was in 2004 after all those years, 2005 might have been the worst year for Terry Francona that he ever managed. And I always felt sorry for him because those guys, wait a minute, we won for you. Therefore, you have to all put us on the all-star team and all that kind of thing.
Right. Hey,
that won't happen here.
Peter, I was going to ask you about Starlin Castro, but now on to more important things, because I think I'm the only guy on the panel that has the Peter Gammon CD. And
how about that?
Your music, I mean, pretty good. And I know. Tell me where it comes from. Was it your father that was into like church gospel or church? Like
my father was a classical musician. I mean, he was an organist, choir master, played the carillon, all that stuff. I mean, he would have no idea what I was playing when I was 16 years old. So he just would like roll his eyes when I must have been a bad father.
Well, I mean, Peter, for a lot of us, Peter invented the Sunday Notes column at the Boston Globe when there would be 150 inches of baseball in there every Sunday. But he would always throw music in there. It'd be like album of the week, or, be sure you give a listen to somebody. And probably the first guy in the country really pushing the Tedeschi Trucks band. I'm fascinated by how you have the energy, the time to stay as current on it as you do. Is it just like, it's like you hang up the phone from talking to a baseball guy and now you're talking to a music guy?
It's fun. It really is. I mean, it's part of just...
It's a passion.
The name of my CD is actually Never Slow Down, Never Grow Old. It's an old Tom Petty line. But I sort of believe in that. Or from a mutual friend of ours, Randy Galloway, who always used to say to me, you can only be young once, but you can always be immature.
The way to live.
Well, now Phil has built it up because Hot Stove Cool Music tomorrow night at the Metro. I am going, and so I'm. What can I expect from you? What's the style of music?
I'm going to do 2 or 3 songs.
Okay, all right.
I'll do an old Spirit song, which I always liked. I've got a couple of others that I. When you have only like one practice for an hour,
how about a
you
duo
have to keep,
with Eddie Vedder?
Yeah, you got to get some veteran or what?
I may do a little backup singing for him, but no, won't be. I wouldn't dare play the guitar with him.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. It's great because, Eddie's first songs were written in the Yum Yum Donut Shop around the corner here, and I'll say this. He is one of the most authentic people I've ever known in my life. I've had the good fortune to know him for a while. Authentic is one of my favorite words.
I don't know if it was from the first, but I'm going to say it was from the first. The hot stove, cool music, the shows in Boston, raising money for Theo Epstein's brother Paul's foundation, the foundation to be named later. Theo doesn't do much talking about that, to be honest. You know, I know it had to be a little scary when he left in Boston, that what would it do to the foundation, all the work there. But it seems like coming to Chicago, it's just doubled the impact that that foundation is able to have. Is that
absolutely? And I mean, the Cubs have been just unbelievable in how much they've thrown in behind it. I mean, it's amazing. But it's and also Len Kasper's kind of become like. He's my twin brother in Chicago now. I mean,
yeah, he loves it.
Yeah. He loves it. And he's so enthusiastic about his fun. And so many of the Chicago guys come to Boston every January. So
thank you for being here with us.
Thank you very much.
You'll be here for October baseball.
I would love that.
Be a lot of fun. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we've got to grab a timeout. Patrick Mooney from CSN Chicago will join us. We'll look toward that July 31st trade deadline, just what might happen on the north side of our great city. We'll take a timeout. Be right back here at Sports Talk Live at Wrigley.
It's Ford Focus Month at Al Piemonte Ford. Get yours now for $100 down, $169 a month. That's right, $100 down, $169 a month. Or get 0% financing for 72 months. But only at the original Al Piemonte Ford in Melrose Park.
We're here in this auto graveyard to demonstrate a remarkable car polish. New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. Simply wipe it on and just wipe it off. It's that easy. And look, New Finish restored a deep, hard shine even to this weather-beaten car. We polished this car with New Finish and ran it through 52 car washes. Even after heavy-duty detergents and powerful scrubbing, the water still beads. So get New Finish.
Available at Advance Auto, Target, Lowe's, Walgreens, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
You'll never forget your first NHRA Nitro experience. 300 miles per hour in 4 seconds. 10,000 horsepower. The smell of burning nitro. All access in the pits. Experience it all at the Route 66 NHRA Nationals this weekend in Joliet. Get tickets early and save at Route66Raceway.com or call 888-629-RACE. Don't blink. Don't breathe. Don't let go.
It's your choice month at Al Piemonte Ford. Right now, you can drive a new Fusion or Escape for $169 a month. That's right, $169 a month. And that's not all. You could save up to $82.50 on a new Ford. It's your choice, but this month only at Al Piemonte Ford, Melrose Park.
This weekend on CSN, the Cubs and Sox go head-to-head at Wrigley for 3 city-splitting matchups. On Friday, black battles blue as both teams look to take home a win in the series opener, followed by Saturday afternoon's Game 2 back at the confines. Then on Sunday, bragging rights are on the line as both teams chase a win in the North-South Series finale. Chat with other fans by using the hashtag Crosstown Cup. Crosstown Cup coverage begins Friday at 2 on CSN.
The tarp is off the field, or being taken off the field as we speak, and we'll have baseball right on time for you. The Cubs and their arch rivals from St. Louis, team with the best record in all of baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals. Cubs look to take 3 of 4 in the series if they can find a way to beat Cardinals ace Michael Wacha. Tonight, Jason Hamill, who's been outstanding so far this season, goes for manager Joe Madden. Derek Gould, baseball writer, St. Louis Post-Dispatch, joins us now. A lot of storylines around the Cardinals. The injuries to Adam Wainwright, the hacking scandal, and of course the best record in baseball. Let's start with the best record in baseball. Is this team as good as they played to date, or might be a little overachieving?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to have a correction here because of what you mentioned. I mean, they're missing some key guys, and they have for a long haul. You know, Matt Adams is out there, cleanup hitter.
He's done for the year.
Yeah, well, they're hopeful that maybe he can contribute late. They thought he was done for the year. He did have quadriceps surgery, but his recovery's going well. The healing process is going well. So their thought now is that maybe he can contribute at some point in time. Adam Wainwright, the expectation is that he's out for the year. So, you know, and Matt Holliday is coming back this weekend, but he's been out for a stretch here. So your ace, number 3 3-hitter, cleanup hitter all out, and still they've continued to roll. So you know that's going to catch up with them at some point in time, especially the innings aspect of it. You know, as they look to save some innings from Waka, save some innings for Martinez, so they can participate in September and October without, you know, chance in an injury, they're going to have to find someone to fill in those innings in some way, and that could be the course correction that where everything kind of catches up with them.
So other than injuries, what is the area that Cardinals fans, that columnists, that newspaper people would criticize or worry about as far as the Cardinals? Is there
the offense? I mean, if you're looking for where they haven't been the team that they expected to be, it's the offense. You know, coming out of spring, just we're talking about this over in the dugout. Coming out of spring, there was a sense that this team, which really lacked power last year. I mean, they didn't get much in the way of power. They didn't get much in the way of power positions either. I mean, their shortstop led the team in home runs. Right field was as good as a middle infielder who you have for defensive purposes when it came to power. So, you know, they thought there'd be more ways to score this year. Speed, an increase in power, and it hasn't been there. You know, first base has really been a problematic place for them, and then they haven't had the jolt from the other positions that they expect. So that's the area to be concerned, because they don't have the offense to overcome what you guys saw yesterday, the errors. I mean, they score 6 runs in one of those games, 5 runs in the first game, they probably win, but the error or misplay or walk catches up with them.
Derek, can't you even go back more than just to this spring, to the spring of 14, talk about expectations for the lineup? And that 13 team was so loaded. And you know, Carlos Beltran leaves, that's a hit. But the expectation that the Allen Craigs, and it just felt like there were a lot of hitters that were going to step up. And instead, if they hadn't signed Johnny Peralta, who knows what they would have won last year.
No, you're right.
They're still thin again. So with all that said, what I'm hearing is at the trade deadline, they might add a pitcher. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I mean, that squares, because that's the more immediate concern, is how do you have that depth? It's a lot like last year where, oh, wait, this rotation is going really well, but what's ahead? What's going to happen in August? What's going to happen in September? And the concern here is those innings. You know, you get Martinez up towards 170, 180. They don't want him to go much further than that. You get Waka up close to 180 in the regular season, then you're starting to wonder, okay, what does he have left for October? So they'd like to have some known quantity, and now they have an opening with Jaime Garcia on the deal, but they would like to have some sort of guarantee move in, a lot like what they added Lackey for last year, just because they know that's going to get wobbly before the offense does.
Two-part for you. One, do you think with them going after pitching, Cubs going after pitching, those two could be competing for the same guys?
Absolutely. I mean, you're going to see a little bit. I mean, yeah, a lot. They will be. You know, there might be a different priority as far as, you know, who would look for a short-term pitcher that would just add this year, and who would look towards maybe a pitcher that has a contract beyond this year.
All right, if you go back in time, Ballpark Village isn't there yet. Now that's generating big money.
Not yet. It will be. It will be at some point in time, yeah. Okay. The bigger thing is the TV deal.
If they could roll back the hands of time, do they make a bigger offer to keep Albert Pujols?
Oh, no. No shot. No chance. That's a good question, but no. I mean, that Albert Pujols and that decision was sort of the vanguard. You brought up hacking, so let's bring it up. It's sort of the vanguard of where they are now as a data-driven team. They want their decisions data-based, and what they want to do then is subtract some of that emotional, you know, influences. Oh, hey, wait, we have a historic player, a once-in-a-lifetime player. Let's throw cash at him so he sticks around for the rest of his career. No, they want some of that form. I mean, they still want to make decisions with emotions, but they want to have an algorithm.
To go, you know what? He's trending the wrong way.
That's right. Or a 10-year deal for anybody's bad, and that value won't be there down the road. So they want to make decisions like that. They make trades like that. That's why they went after Lackey.
Yeah, I'm going to second what Derek said. I thought that was an unbelievably good decision by their ownership, by Bill DeWitt. You know, they made him an offer. They didn't just like kick him to the curb, but they weren't going to bid to the highest dollar. And you know, the first 2 years he was with the Angels, nobody minded that he was with the Angels. Now he's having a good year this year, so you ask about it. But
still
now he's
7 more.
Well, he's he's 3 years older, and there's 7 on the contract. So I was just going to sort of echo that with Derek, that
how about the hacking scandal? There are a lot of people around baseball who bristle when they hear best organization, best fans in baseball, and they're taking some joy in seeing the Cardinals embarrassed.
Yeah, are you talking about the Astros particularly?
I would say Cubs fans and some others.
I mean, this has been a dent, in their reputation, and they recognize it. And in fact, Bill DeWitt has said, that he takes a lot of pride in the reputation the organization has and the reputation he has. I mean, this is a family matter for him. He's been in baseball for all of his life, and his father was in baseball for many years before that. So he takes a lot of pride in having built an organization that can be the standard for baseball, that can be looked to as one that is doing it the right way, that's competing the right way. And here then they have to face allegations and a federal investigation. They're very aware that this has brought a shroud over a time in their era when they should be celebrating. This has been the most competitive era in Cardinal baseball, and now there's this undercurrent of question that they wish wasn't there.
And, I mean, if you look at what's made the Cardinals the last decade, it's the draft, it's the farm system, and I'm wondering about sort of the brain drain there, not just
Fair
Jeff
question.
Luhnow going to Houston, but then last winter, I'm going to probably miss this name up, but Dan Kantrovitz.
Dan Kantrovitz went to be Oakland.
Was the scouting director, and as John Mozeliak promotes Chris Correa, who was the employee that was fingered for the hacking and fired last week. Somebody's got to come along and replace those guys, right? I mean, how do they fix the front office?
Well, there's more to it than there's those names that you mentioned. I mean, they also
it's not over.
Yeah, well, and also they've lost more than that too. They've had other people. They had several people go to Houston, right? And that was one of the rubs between those organizations was you got to stop taking our people. Yeah, good, it's a promotion, but enough's enough. You can't pull all these people out from the front office. So, I mean, the Cardinals still have quality folks in place. Moises Rodriguez just had a very good July 2nd, for example. He's their international scouting director, or director of international operations, I should say. And so there are still people in place. Michael Gersh is the assistant general manager. He's brought a lot of some of the advances that the Cardinals have made as that data-driven group that they want to be. He's brought a lot of that in to help them make decisions. So there's still places there, but you're right about that. And also, they're going to have to look at the culture. It's a very lean front office. It's very small. It's been streamlined by John Mozeliak. That's because he wants to have tight control over the decisions that are being made, but he also thinks it makes them more mobile and very capable of moving together as a group to have what he calls a bottom-to-top organization. And Gary LaRocque is a big part of that, who's now the farm director. But they're going to have to look at ways to say, look, what kind of culture are we creating? What kind of checks are in place so that this doesn't happen again?
Do Cardinals fans care about this, or are they sort of just...
They should. I mean, I get mixed emails on that subject. Some of them tell me, why are you bringing this up constantly? Why are you guys writing about this? This is something that belongs in the A section, not the sports section, that kind of stuff. But they should. I mean, the federal government doesn't get involved in things that they think are small. Major League Baseball doesn't fret and worry about things that are small. Major League Baseball doesn't want two of its organizations fighting here. I mean, that's not good for business. So there is concern here. There is a story here, and if they dismiss it, so it doesn't happen on the field, it doesn't work that way. This is a real question.
Last one before we let you go. It's not a rivalry when one team keeps beating the heck out of the other. The Cardinals have dominated the Cubs for quite a while. Do you think Cardinal fans, down deep, they're happy that the Cubs are getting better because it becomes a rivalry?
I think so. I think in a lot of ways, because it validates a rivalry that both sides want in place. And they've watched the New York Yankees and the Red Sox have October meetings that have defined a century of a rivalry. You know what I mean? I mean, what we saw in October with the Red Sox and the Yankees going after it in an ALCS, that sort of cast a whole light on years of acrimony and rivalry and made the whole thing that much sweeter. These two teams face each other in October, and all the history will come back, and you'll have all that momentum, and no one will doubt the importance, the storied nature, and also the prickliness of this rivalry.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it. Derek Gould from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, their fine baseball writer. We'll be right back to wrap up Sports Talk Live in advance. The Cubs Cardinals we'll have for you here on CSN. Don't forget, Holly and I have the post game right after the ball game.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
This is amazing.
That's amazing.
Real people are discovering surprising things at Chevy.
We're sold. It's so pretty.
They're good-looking cars. It feels great.
Perfect.
This is not what I would expect from a Chevy at all.
Get more than you expect for less than you imagined at the Chevy 72-hour sale. Now get 0% financing for 72 months on most 2015 Chevy vehicles. Hurry, the clock is ticking. Get yours now. The 72-hour sale ends July 9th. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Creating the perfect outdoor space by Unilock. Quality landscapes require the right design, materials, and craftsmanship because that's what it takes to truly connect with your lifestyle. With Unilock, you get unlimited design possibilities, authorized Unilock contractors, and a transferable lifetime guarantee. For a complimentary idea book or a free project estimate, call 1-800-UNILOCK or visit unilock.com. That's 1-800-UNILOCK and unilock.com. Your perfect outdoor space awaits with Unilock, designed to connect.
If your dog suffers from fear of noise, travel, separation, or any other anxieties, Thundershirt may be the answer.
The Thundershirt wraps the animal. They feel the pressure around them. It's that pressure that gives them the feeling that everything is okay.
Thundershirt absolutely 100% works.
When Chase has the Thundershirt on, I say thank you. Mom, I feel so much better now. I feel so calm.
Now available at PetSmart, Petco, Sam's Club, and other fine pet retailers.
Hey, Illinois drivers, I need your help to make our roads as safe as possible. For starters, cars and trucks, please be extra careful when driving next to each other. Whoa! Also, if your phone isn't hands-free, it's illegal to use when driving in Illinois.
So drop it and drive.
And remember, when you see orange signs, look for the unexpected. Something ahead could result in a crash. See orange, slow down, save lives. Together, we can make zero fatalities a reality. Always drive safely and embrace the orange.
Poll result time. 57% of you say just make the playoffs. That's all you care about this year. Just get to the playoffs and then let the chips fall where they may. How would you have voted, Phil?
I would say get to the playoffs and then win a round. How about that?
That'd be good. So would winning a round be just winning the one wild card?
Yeah, unless they run down the Cardinals, yeah, it'd be
because if
winning
they don't
that
run down
wild
the
card
Cardinals,
game.
you're probably looking at Jake Arrieta or John Lester against Garrett Cole in Pittsburgh.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. Would they be better off to play that one-game wild card here or in, let's say, Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh, they won't have the waiting for the shoe to drop first thing that goes wrong.
Yeah.
It's a
I think maybe the second wild card spot might be better than the first.
Isn't the vote for just be relevant? I mean, maybe I'm setting the standards low here for the Cubs right now, but the fact that they're relevant after what happened the previous 5 years, the fact that they're relevant is excellent. Every day the Cubs are relevant.
That it's not lightning in a bottle with a bunch of old guys who are trending that way. Guys, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Cap.
All right, that's going to put a ribbon on this edition of Sports Talk Live here from Wrigley Field. Cubs and Cardinals are coming up. Sportsnet Central first. Holly and I have the post-game show after the ball game. Thank you so much for watching. Again, for Phil Rogers, for Mark Groney, Chris Bowden, and our guests, I'm David Kaplan. We'll see you.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
This is amazing.
That's amazing.
Real people are discovering surprising things at Chevy.
We're sold. It's so pretty.
They're good-looking cars. It feels great.
Perfect. This is not what I would expect from a Chevy at all.
Get more than you expect for less than you imagined at the Chevy 72-hour sale. Now get 0% financing for 72 months on most 2015 Chevy vehicles. Hurry, the clock is ticking. Get yours now. The 72-hour sale ends July 9th. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
We're here in this auto graveyard to demonstrate a remarkable car polish. New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. Simply wipe it on and just wipe it off. It's that easy. And look, New Finish restored a deep, hard shine even to this weather-beaten car. We polished this car with New Finish and ran it through 52 car washes. Even after heavy-duty detergents and powerful scrubbing, the water still beads. So get New Finish.
Available at Pep Boys, Target, Ace, O'Reilly Auto, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
For exclusive behind-the-scenes video and photos from the AT&T Uverse Lounge, go to csnchicago.com.
At Discount Tire, we'll get you the right tire at the lowest price for your vehicle. Get a $70 Visa prepaid card when you buy any set of 4 Michelin tires.
Turning in the grain again, the bells began to chime. Time, she says, there's no turning back.
You can pass down a Subaru Forester. She's all yours. But you get to keep the memories.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
The Cubs page on CSNChicago.com.
I'm Robin Ventura, and you're watching the home of White Sox baseball, CSN Chicago.
The Cubs looking to take 3 out of 4 against the first-place Cardinals tonight. Jason Hamill on the mound for the home team, but the Cubs offense faces a major challenge against all-star Michael Wacha, looking for his 11th victory. We've got all the action, weather permitting, right here tonight on Comcast Sportsnet.
To Sportsnet Central, presented by Comcast Business.
And we begin with a Sportsnet Central news alert. Both Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant will represent the Cubs in the All-Star Home Run Derby, which will be held Monday night in Cincinnati. Rizzo belted his 16th homer yesterday. Bryant has 12 round-trippers so far. That ranks 3rd among all rookies in baseball.
We had a good game earlier. Now we have a chance to sweep it over.
Fair ball! Fair ball!
That was fair ball.